Hi there, I'm Shauna Lee. This is Infinity Readings, and this is your energy report for the week of October 7th, 2025. Thanks for coming in. I just want to make mention that I've got some, how would you say, energy to kind of personalize these in a different kind of way as I go forward, to kind of pinpoint some energy for specific people here and there. So you may feel like I'm talking right to the heart of who you are, and that's because I'm getting guidance to do so. So just to let you know, I'm aware of that. So we'll get into things here. And the first card that we have, so the below cards symbolizing everything that's going on the 3D Earth that they want to make acknowledgement of. So the first card that we have here from the below is the Ace of Swords. Don't you know? I love this card. Very victorious, right? Very in our truth. So if there's people getting slighted, it's because they deserve to get slighted. It's because they are not in their truth. And this is coming to the surface everywhere, every way. So this, I feel very triumphant here. I feel very excited. So that's channeling down from above. It's like, yes, the truth is coming out. And we're feeling it, we're seeing it, and we're acknowledging it. Or at least this is where it sits. Now, this is past energy. So there's truths that have already come out, truths that will continue to come out, and truths that we have to face here. And again, a lot of it's not going to be easy to face, but a lot of it will be triumphant victories that will maybe seem like a little thing on the surface, like we put someone behind bars, but it's a huge thing if there's a lot of people that they've been perpetrating in the meantime, right? Put this monster behind bars, and I'm using that as an analogy, but not necessarily so. We put them behind bars, and suddenly there's a whole wealth of people that are free to do as they wish, right? So this is the feeling they're giving me, is that some of these people that have been oppressing others are going to be lifted out of the equation in order to free up a whole bunch of other people that were under their command, if I could say it that way. I said it that way. So as we move forward, Ace of Swords, yeah, truth, clarity, and victory. So we will see clearly the truth. It will come to us, and because of this, there will be accommodations made. And they're going, the reason we give you that accommodations, because whenever I hear accommodations, I think of vacation. And they're going, some people are going to feel like a huge weight is lifted off of you. It's like from going to work every day to a job that you hate, and then suddenly being free to do whatever you want for the next month. Freed up. You can do whatever you want. It's like that. It's like a vacation. So, yeah, this truth is going to free a lot of people from an oppressive energy that was keeping them under their thumb, is what I'm getting. Wow. Yeah, it's really excitable. Above, they're excited. They're like leaping and jumping for joy. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I got to add an insert here. So you're going to be moving along here with the first card of the reading. And as I was sitting here and editing, which is what I'm doing right now, I was thinking, oh, there's some background to this energy I need to insert here, because some of you might be getting some of this as well and thinking you guys are nuts. So here goes with the freak flag, right? So first of all, I've been getting for the past probably 5 years. It started actually more than that. It's probably been about 6 or 7 years, but nonetheless, I've had so I'm a medium, right? So I do get I back in the day I was working with people and I would get spirits attached to those people coming and talking to me after the reading, after everything. I've had weird stuff. So then I kind of put the brakes on, worked on my spiritual self and whatnot, and then I just am. I'm a channel, so they know this from above, right? So people that are passed on can connect to me if they want to. Now, there's some on the personal side and some on the not so personal side. Now, I've had people as I was younger, right, not knowing how the system works. You're fans of somebody, right? You love them. You have, like Michael Jackson was one of them. Prince was huge in my, like, I was a huge Prince fan. So that was one for me. Whitney Houston, there's a whole bunch of people that you listen to as a fan, right? As a kid or whatever. And along the way, and not only in the music business, there was actors and whatnot. And along the way, it's something that I don't, so I'm coming out of a closet here. It's something I don't talk about very often. But I do press whenever somebody talks about someone who's passed. With what I get. So first of all, one of the people that started coming out to me was Robin Williams. He had come out and then I was like, oh, that's weird. I wonder if that's him. Because suddenly you start doubting. They're just a human being like anybody else. But I started doubting and I was like, oh, that's just probably all in my head. And then I don't know, months later, I got a validation. There was somebody actually doing a spirit box reading on whatever. It's all in that weird land, right? So I was like, oh, wow. And it validated what I got. And I was like, oh, man, can you get a load of this? So Robin Williams was one of them that contacted me. Now, the interesting thing is, this was up to almost 10 years ago, but not quite, about 7-8 years ago. I was getting all these celebrities coming in. I was like, what are you doing with me? Why are you attracted to me? What's going on? Robin Williams, I kind of understood because I had depression, he had depression. So there was a link there. And I mean, I could relate to him a lot with what he was going through, having to be bubbly on one side and then feeling too much on the other. So I thought it was that. And then later down the road, Prince passed, right? And that was a huge thing for me. I was so upset. I just didn't feel right about it. And then it wasn't long after I started getting things come up, weird stuff, man, weird. It was almost like I would think something and then the answer would come, but it would be through a Prince video or something to do with, and I'm like, it's almost like he's answering me. This guy can hear me. And then it just started bombarding me and it was telling me things that I didn't know already about the system, da da da. So then Whitney Houston, she came in, all these celebrities, and I was getting weirded out, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going nuts, going off the batshit line, this is all. So anyway, basically what it comes down to is, I don't think I'm the only one they're coming to. And if they're coming to you, beware. Just take in what they're trying to say there. Because really, when I was, coming across the reading here, and it's talking about all the excitement, this is them as well on the other side. I don't want to get into this vengeance stuff, but because I have a very high heart for Prince and his music and everything about him, even though when he was here and when I was a fan, I didn't quite understand him in what he was going through. I knew something was going on because I felt the integrity of him, but I didn't understand what was going on until now. We're starting to get the answers as to why these artists were all mixed up, right? So I had literally it wasn't too long ago, months ago, something come up and I was like, that's from him, man. He's trying to tell me this is going down, 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 down. And not only that, he saw a lot of it. Not only that, I'm pretty sure he was on the edge of it. And like I was just getting dreams and everything. It was all coming out. And then I was like, okay, it was all over. I couldn't deny it. So anyway, I wanted to make mention of that because there might be some celebrities channeling into your universe, which means you know your brain process. Be careful of infiltrators, but you will know in your heart if it's them or not, because it'll be someone you truly cared for and you truly admired, and for their gifts of, you know, music and whatnot. Even though, you know, some of them were caught up in that world, they are excited as well to see all of the justice come down, like the truth. Like, you guys got away with so much of this shit on our end when we were there, and now there's so many forces from above. Like, when you get, you know, you have all this crap playing out on the earth again, energy don't die, it just goes into another form. Then they're like angelic and they can still shoot truth and honor and all of this stuff down. And it's very powerful when it does that. So powerful that you get through to some medium on the ground who's saying things people that may be important, you know, that are important. Everyone's important. But you know what I'm saying? And if you're getting this, it's just a validation point. People are going to be getting this. They're going to be seeing these stars in their heads and they're going to go, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Take note of it. Take note of what you're taking in when you get these visions, these third eye comprehension. They want you to understand that they understood. Even before they left, they understood. So I just wanted to make that point very clear in this reading. Yeah, it was kind of an after insert because sometimes when I'm in editing, the pressure's off a little bit, and then that relaxation process brings in, you know, more stuff that needed to be said. And right now, Prince, Whitney, all those guys, they're all standing up there going, we're watching and we're waiting for justice here, because there's a lot of shit going downhill. And it ain't, you know, I feel that they are influencing as many people as they can influence to get the truth out. And when you're on that side, the power comes from the truth. The power comes from the love. The power comes from the good centered. Those in darkness, again, all that energy just dissipates and kind of breaks down. So that's the energy they're giving me anyway. And if you have someone who you thought of quite highly that has passed on that might have been messed up in all of this, and you get some kind of third eye visions, dreams so real that they feel realer than this reality, that is them trying to bring it down. Like they're bringing all the power they can that they had on earth. They're bringing twice as much in that realm. But again, some people can just dismiss it and not think of it. So, you know, if you're in a place of power where you can do something with that information, and for me, it's speaking, it's going outward. And you never know, these things rotate. I mean, I don't have what I see. Again, I don't have, but somehow that with electronics, right, things can get through. And there's certain truth tellers on the plane here. Like, to me, Prince had a lot of integrity. And I seen it back then, but I didn't understand, right? Because you're going from way back then when you saw him as an idol. So you're all up talking about that, the Knight of Cups energy, where you're kind of dreaming about all this stuff, but you're not feeling the reality of it. And the reality was, I was a slave to the music. And now you're going to hear the backstory of all of that shit that I was trying to bring out. And this is from Prince, basically, is what I'm getting here. And it's like, I knew this all along and I was trying to get it out, but there's, you know, there's certain things you can do, certain things bring you off the earth. And guess what? He left, but he ain't done, you know. And there may even be some other people coming through with, you know, with stuff. Well, he left a lot of triggers behind. He left a lot of power behind, if you get my drift. And you know, because of him, he's been infiltrating me quite heavily, because I can, you know, I'm vocally I can bring things out. So this is why I'm thinking is, and also from the heart-centered place, right? Because I truly love and cared for him as an idol. But now I truly love and care for him as a human being and what he was trying to do that I was too naive back then to see. So beware of that coming forth from the spiritual realm as well, especially if you're in a medium type state or you're accepting of this energy. Digest that information that you're getting. And, David Bowie was another one that's very heart-centered that he keeps coming around, but I think it's all kind of just support for what is going on here, and they're letting anybody who's listening know that we're watching and we're not very far away, basically. So I just wanted to make mention of that. Again, I'm just trying to, I don't know, sometimes I figure it's not a wise thing to do this. But if I don't say it, maybe it'll hit somebody that has the power to do something, has the power to change something in that way, or is validated in the same way where, yeah, I've been getting dreams about this guy and I've been, but I disregard it. Well, take it seriously, do what you can with it and move forward. For me, it's just an awareness factor, I think. And for you, maybe it'll be different. So I just wanted to insert that in here, and then we'll carry on with the reading. So I'll just make mention for the last time here of the names that come through for me. I feel like they want to be recognized for being valid and not just a figment of your imagination or your memory. There's memories, and then there's new stuff. And if they're infusing new stuff, I really feel like they're just on the justice side of things, and they feel they got cheated, and they did get cheated. And I feel like they want to see justice be done on the earth plane. And anybody who has the power to make that happen, feel free to do so. I know there's some already on Prince's line there. Like there was Sheila E., I think, was doing some stuff so that I heard of. I don't know if it's valid or not. But I was getting word of that or feel of that. If you feel from a heart center, these people were with you on the earth plane, like they may not have been with you, but in spirit, like in your heart, you appreciated them in a way of love and care and compassion. You cared what happened to them. These things carry over. Those links stay tuned. They may not have known you in this life, but again, in the afterlife, wow, the connection's there. Why? Because there's a heart there for it. And this is the same way. So some of the ones that have hit me most hard with the heart center is George Michael. He's been there. Prince, David Bowie, Michael Jackson is very lightly. He's busy. Robin Williams and Whitney Houston. And usually there's always, when you come from the heart like that, there's usually a center where you resonate with them in vibrancy at some point. Like I said before, Robin Williams had to deal with a lot of depression in his day, and that creates a deeper bonding point and a resonance there that just doesn't go away. It makes things stronger. Then on Earth, because I never knew him as a human being. Like I knew of him as a celebrity, but I didn't know him as a human being. And then, again, things come out after they die. And then you're like, oh, well, I didn't know he was dealing with all that. And that's the kind of thing. And then your heart center, goes upwards, and then boom, then they come in, right? And so that's why periodically I'd post it on my page about Robin Williams' birthday and things like that, because he comes to me at those times, and it's like he's still a soft, gentle energy that doesn't want to impose on anybody, but he's getting through that in a different kind of way. And so, yeah. So anyway, George Michael, Prince, David Bowie, Michael Jackson, Robin Williams, and Whitney Houston. Those are huge names that, again, I never knew any one of them on the earth plane. Never knew. Other than being in the spotlight, I knew them. But I didn't know them personally at all. None of these. But as a channeler, at the end of the day, you can connect with things that, other people can't connect to. And so this is what. So yeah, a little bit of a freak there. Yeah, you can call me what you want. But I've had 10 years to validate all this information, and they're there pinging left and right. And the bottom line is there's an opportunity here for huge truths to come forward. Not only that, I feel like these are the ones it's going to bring up, these names in the future, as to be like, I wish we could have known then what we know now. And I feel the same way. Like, I feel, even when Prince was doing the Slave on the Face, I was like, wow, that's pretty, like, what's going on? He could say, but he couldn't say. And I was just too young, too naive to know. But now we know. So this is still going on. So that's the message, really, that I get, is that it's still going on, and they're going to try their hardest from their point of view to try and get, continue in the way that they did here on Earth, or the way that they couldn't continue to do here on Earth. So I will let that go, and I will let you continue with the reading. Sorry for the interruption, but I felt there was more weight here than sometimes I vacillate whether I should put this in or not, and the overwhelming urge was put it in. So I'm putting it in, and we'll carry on with the rest of the reading. Yeah, it's really excitable. Above, they're excited. They're like leaping and jumping for joy. Okay, interesting. We'll continue. The next card. The next card is the present. Okay. Again, this could be past energy. It could be, in your future for some people, in the present for others, and have been dealt with already by some others yet. So as we get into the present, we get the Eight of Pentacles. And that's about, here we're working on creativity, but usually the Eight of Pentacles speaks to work and putting a lot of effort into something. Here it is in the way of they're going, don't lose sight of the fun factor here. Like, we're putting a lot of work and energy into something that really does make us feel good about our lives. Again, that freedom, I feel that freedom unlocking unencumbered energy. I feel that heavily here. So if we are working hard to accomplish something, it's because we're excited about it, and because we feel energized within to do it. We feel, how would you say, what's that word? Like, it's like that focus energy that you feel when you're doing something you love, and then you also have a flair for it, you have a knowledge for it, and you also are being guided from above with it as well. So for some people, they're going to be lined up in this way, and it could be those people that are being oppressed, right? Now they're making me think of the work sector here. So there might have been people that were kind of locked into, we'll just put it, say a company, right? And you have, the boss comes in and he's always angry, and he's always, and everybody tenses up, and then suddenly they can't do their job right because they're really worried, what's this guy? He's always got something bad to say, he or she, right? Always got something bad to say. They're always picking at things, and they're always making me feel this oppressive energy, right? So this is, they're symbolizing this in a work front. So for some people, it may literally be that guy's taken out. That we have someone here, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. We have a bad guy here, a boss, is taken out of the mix. So suddenly the workplace, everybody can relax, and the creativity can start to cycle in, because when you're that worried and oppressed and beaten upon and bashed upon, your creativity gets lost. You can't think straight. You never mind trying to be and work up new ideas. You're just so stressed you can't open your flair. You know what I mean? You can't open up to what really truly needs to be done because you're so focused on the boss coming and what did I do wrong. And even when you didn't do nothing wrong, he'll find something. One of those. So I get this energy of that boss being taken away. Suddenly, there's new creative ventures opening. Why? Because we're not stressed no more. Our brain isn't locked into fight or flight mode. We can fly into other areas, right? We can go into creative areas here and feel free to do so and be unencumbered. Now, I don't know. Can it happen that quickly? They're going, yes, it can. It can, because people can be kind of traumatized without even knowing it, is what I'm getting. And once they are released from that, oppressor, right? That person or that symbol of what it was that was holding us back, suddenly we get the flow starts. And then we're unstoppable because the energy can go in whatever way we want it to go. And nobody can tell us different. And I do get a sense here too of people like, okay, so say it's the boss, they got rid of the boss that was making it's like we were in areas trying to create, and we really were being moved back. How would I put that? We're being regressed in our true abilities because we were in fear mode. And suddenly now that fear is gone. It's like a rabid dog, running loose in the streets. So somebody chained that thing up. So they chained it up. Now we can go and walk in the streets again. That kind of a feeling. It's really like that I'm getting. So anyway, this 8 is that working forward with your creativity. Not only that, we're happy to go to work. We no longer, like, we did enjoy our job. We just didn't enjoy the person. There was one person there that was ruining it for everybody. The bad apple. Yeah, there was something about that. So now that is gone, and what do you know? The whole workforce is lifted from this. And it's amazing how one person can have the keys to do that. Can have the keys to really lock everybody out of their creativity. Everybody, like you have that one teacher that inspires you, but then there may be, 2 others that don't. That kind of thing. It's like, how did they get that out of me? How did they? Well, they were guided and they had, the gift of light in them, and they decided to share that. And the other person may have had the gift of darkness. I don't consider that a gift, but they had darkness upon them, and that is not something that needs to be shared, kind of thing. So the 8 of Pentacles is working hard in a creative way to create new things and being happy while we're doing that. And those little elves always symbolize to me guides, guidance coming from above, interior, how would you say, intuition, that kind of thing, coming to help you see that clearly. And I do also feel that there's that force field. They're trying to become aware, like we don't have to be depressed. We don't have to be sad. We can come to work and enjoy our job. And sometimes it's just one person there that's ruining it for the rest of us. And if they move and then there's no relief, maybe it's you that's the bad person. This kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. So that's the present, is basically feeling and reliving life in a new energy form here. As we move into the future, still in the earth-centered cards, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay. A lot of energy here. We got the red in the trees symbolizing like the fall time. Again, I'm in the northern hemisphere here. So if you're in south, you may have spring coming upon you. Those that are in fall time, I feel like that, well, when you get into fall, right, the energy's slowing down. When you get into spring, it's speeding up. So you'll have these two energies moving about depending on what, like the lower hemisphere will be speeding up and the upper hemisphere will be slowing things down. And for those that are slowing things down, I feel a great sense of being able to relax enough to, in the last reading here I mentioned I'm letting the groupings go, meaning like the soulmates and all that stuff, because I was saying for years and years, it's the soulmates are coming in this fall, and I said I'm not saying it this year because it's not happening. And basically what they're saying is now we have time to think about that, and thinking brings manifesting, manifesting brings people together. So this is what can happen here. Now, the Knight of Cups, he's kind of the dreamy guy. He sits there and he's dreaming of this love. Like, there's the book there he's read about, either a diary, right, where he's had someone in his mind, and there's a picture there of a woman, probably his perfect woman, right? And he's just dreaming and thinking about her in some kind of way. So for those who might have been oppressed in their life, the sense they're giving me is, we may have either taken active ability and changed something in our life that was maybe too hectic or what have you. Something intuitively nudged, no less, for us to slow our life down enough. And we've taken that advice, and now we've come to the point where we want to share that life. Now we're really happy with where we're at, and we want to share that life with someone else. And there may be someone here that we have in mind, and that person is someone that's going to be on our mind. And the sense here is that angels want to help you with that, because these are kind of like angelic forms here that are floating around, and he's unaware of that. But his focus, no less, will be there. It's interesting. I picked a new theme card from Ixen. Whenever I pick my music, I pick it from this Ixen dude. He's on the fringe of the energy field that I'm in. He can create some good stuff, but I was like, I need different kind of tone for what I was looking for. And Focus was the name of the one that just fit. I don't go necessarily by the name, whatever. I go by the feel of the music, and does it fit? Does it suit me? And does it suit the information? And it seems to be the theme here as well. And the sense too that they're making me feel is, it is no coincidence that you picked the word focus. Even though it was an energy match, there's a lot of levels here that things are going to line up on. And I have a feeling that for this person who's in this way, and it may be a masculine and it may be a feminine, but someone who is dreaming of a love or dreaming of a partner to come into their life because they are happy with their life at this time. This focus that we're centering on will create things in the physical. So I'll just leave it at that. And that is our future card. And that's from the Grounded Earth. So they are saying that from our truth, we are going to be more creative. And because of the truth that we've learned, it is releasing chains of oppression that we may have had upon us. Some of those chains are going to be higher and more heavily felt than others. There's going to be places in the world, cities, countries, principalities that are going to release these chains to more of a degree, again, where it'll be felt higher for the people there. And there's some people that, may not understand that fully and completely yet either. But that's what's going to happen. We're going to feel freer and more creative in our abilities, even if it has to do with work. We may even be changing jobs in order to go to something that we enjoy rather than something that pays good or whatever, just for the dollar, right? And this is going to create a great flux of energy that is really good for your future forward. In fact, it will give you more time to think and focus about your partnerships, whether you're in them, out of them, or, wanting them to be, or wanting to be open to them, that kind of thing. Wow. Okay. So that's all good. As we get into the next row here, we're talking about the above card. So what does the above energies have to say about all of this? So the Ace of Swords, as we get back to that again, usually when I get this card, this particular card from this particular deck, if it comes out in a reading, it means we're going to get the truth, but be careful. It's pointy. It can hurt, right? So, this truth ain't going to be easy to swallow, but it is going to be freeing overall. The greater good, this is what this truth is about. We need to understand this in order to get to our greater good. So, on top of that energy, as we speak from above here, what do we get? Uranus again. Okay, now expect the unexpected. This was in was it the last one or the one before? I remember this energy being here, and I remember this guy's looking to our past, and he's saying, expect the unexpected here. Now, this is past energy. So again, different people are going to be in, not all y'all are in the same package of energy that's going through here. So some of you are on the high end, some of you are on the low end, some of you whatever. So again, for some of us, right? And I do feel it's thinner for those that this unexpected is in the past. I feel it's thicker for it's going to be, we're going to be dealing with the effects of this, or the immediate acknowledgement of what this is in this moment. Now, let's go by the reading, and this would be past energy. So if it's past energy, then something unexpected has just happened to us. We have dealt with the fact that the truth is here to explain this, even though we didn't expect it, even though it wasn't part of our plan or a plan. There is a need to understand it for what it was worth. So I'm going to move to this next card, the Eight of Pentacles, which again symbolizes working hard to build up, putting our head down to the grindstone and building. What is it that we're building on? On top of that, we get another planet talking about Saturn. Serious energy or attitude. Now I get from the Eight, as we're working, as we got our head down, I feel very light and frivolous. I feel like we're in a creative cycle. I feel like we have no worries here. Now, as I put this card on top, I feel a greater sense of, I'm going to use that word focus again, greater sense of focus to deal with things that are of the heavier nature. Okay. Now, this is right here, right now. So there may be some truths that have come to bear themselves that have freed us up in an energy of feeling light and frivolous, but there's going to be another flow of energy here having to do with things are going to get serious here. Because even though on one, it's like one side or the other, one side, yeah, we're, free from oppression in some areas and things are lifting in some areas. There's also going to be a heavy weight here to counterbalance that for whatever reason. Now, again, does this have to do with the unexpected? They're kind of swiping that away and saying this is its own thing that we have to deal with right here, right now. So, man, Saturn. Now, give me a moment. There's something about this. Okay, first of all, this 3i Atlas stuff, okay, has something to do with that. Now, was that the unexpected? But then they're swiping it away. They're going, that's a different matter than what's here. So what's here is serious energy or attitude. Let's go forward here and see. Okay, we're in daydream mode. Why? Because our life, see, this is the weird thing. There's a dichotomy here already. There's a sense right here and now we got to focus on something serious or something we perceive as serious, is what they said. Now, as we move into the future, what do we get on Spark of Inspiration, the Maiden of Fire? Now, we go back to that Knight of Cups card. That Knight of Cups card made me feel like somebody is literally daydreaming. Okay? So I feel like some kind of truth in the past makes us feel almost like in an illusion of happiness and freedom and da da da, but something's going to ground us right back down to reality here. And it's going to do that because it's going to inspire something from us to take action as we go forward here. There's many ways this could output, but it from the micro to macro could be in each individual person. There's something that sparks, and it could be in societies and towns and cities and stuff like this. No, I'm trying to dig deep for something here. They're just not giving me the keys. So I'll carry on, okay, and then we'll overview it, and then I'll also go over kind of the weather report energetically, because they were giving me that all morning. I thought, well, I better do it today then, because it's my last day of peace here before Thanksgiving. So I'm in Canada, so we celebrate Thanksgiving this weekend. So for all those fellow Canadians, happy Thanksgiving, and happy belated or pre-whatever to those who celebrate it whenever they do. Like the Americans, it's next month, da da da. So there's that. Now let's go back to expect the unexpected. Again, I feel like this energy's passed. So it's not something that the energy's passed, but there's still a hiccup here. There's still like our focus needs to be like it's almost like we're in daydream mode, and somebody's got to nudge you, hey, like you're in the classroom, daydreaming about something, and it's like pay attention to what's going on here. So this is the sense they're giving me. So there's something going on here in our field that we are being distracted from deliberately. We know the gameplay here, but we're still being distracted. This is what's happening. Now, they told me to switch to the Wisdom deck here instead of the Gaia deck. So that's what we're doing, this last row. So there's significant energy here that can't be in that other deck. So expect the unexpected, the Sword of Truth. What do we get from the Wisdom deck? Conclusion. Okay, yeah. So there will be a conclusion put here to something. And I again, initially on the 3D Earth, like on the grounded Earth, we feel a relief of this. It's a heavy unburdening, okay? But there's still something going on. It's the sense they're giving me. It's like the red herring, right? Yeah, something over here, but there's still gonna something's. A chapter's ending. Let's go to the next row. That's our past. So something has ended, okay? Make no mistake. But as we go forward in our new energy and great, and and some people are further ahead of this than others. And the sense they're giving me is focus, pay attention. Like they're showing me someone hitting their friend going, pay attention, this is on the test. Like look at the board, the guy's looking around or whatever, looking at his desk or engraving on his desk or whatever. And it's like, hey, pay attention. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, sit up and pay attention, because we need this to move forward, right? And it could just be instinct for some people. Listening to that instinct, and don't let anybody car salesman you into any other place. Don't let them buy up a Nissan when you're looking for a Lincoln. Just keep your eye on the prize, right? This is what we're trying to do here. So serious energy or attitude, they want you to keep, that's at the center of all of the cards, is this serious energy or attitude. So don't go too light and don't get too dark. We got to understand here from a deeper center. So as we go on the 6th, the Saturn energy, that serious attitude or energy that's going on here, we have the Forbidden. Ooh, that's not good. Now, the whole row here starts with putting a lot of work and effort. And again, on the grounded 3D Earth, I feel like we feel like we're accomplishing something here. But the sense that I'm getting is we're kind of being diverted from the actual prize here. It's almost like, you want that Lincoln, but your eyes are being diverted by this little Nissan thing. and then you're starting to walk over there, and it's like, no, it's not there, it's somewhere else. And then they bring me back to the instinct. And that's that, it doesn't matter what is said. We have to follow our instinct here. And they will say anything they need to say. In fact, they will say things that are forbidden in order to get you to agree, this kind of thing. So that's kind of the playbook. I mean, those in the know should know this. But again, there's people that are not in the know, so we got to pull them along, is a sense. Yeah, and they said some can't be saved because some are outright, deceivers, and they just will not turn tracks here. So, as we move into the future, yeah, because, sorry, they just interrupt me because they're going, we have a conclusion to something that's forbidden, and the next cards will you display what that is. So, big build here. As we go on that spark of inspiration, again, don't get too daydreamy about things. Even though we are preparing our physical world for things of better, there is something here that will spark inspiration for you to act, and most people will on this unless they're chaos makers, right? And on top of that card, we have the warrior. Yeah, is to keep that warrior spirit. Is to keep that instinct, because it's the instinct, and then that instinct, it can whisper at you. And if you're screaming and yelling from your ego, you will not hear it. And if you're screaming and yelling from other parts of you, you will not hear it either. Because the warrior always has a great heart. He's the number 2. The first thing is the beginning flames. It was the woman and the male, right? So the first card in the deck is that woman, and it's like the heart of desire opening up. And that usually always comes in a reading for me when there's something that brings passion out in us, whether it's a job, a way of life, a partner, this kind of thing. What do you call that? Like a craft or something that we just feel a great desire to go in this direction. This is where it starts. And then it moves into that warrior, which is now going to take that burning flame of passion and go forward and take action into the world the way it needs to play out. And that's, I mean, it's following this line here, this mental line of intellect. If you look at the world and you say, this is the way, it makes sense. So if we do take the last 3 cards, the conclusion to that which is forbidden, because the warriors have stood up for their ground. They will not allow that which is forbidden to enter. What is this guy carrying on? It's almost like it's a lantern, like he looks like the hermit to me, but there's no light there. Oh. Look at him just sneak it in there. Oh, man. I'm looking at this guy. He's got a scythe in his hand, man. And he's like the angel of death coming in here. Oh. Serious energy or attitude will come through. And it is forbidden because it is the opposite of the hermit. It is the unwise ruler trying to come in and create chaos, trying to take as many away as they can before the light appears, right? That's him with his little, I don't know what that is there, empty cage. That's the empty cage. They're trying to take people in. Oh, wow, this is heavier than I thought. Now, there are people that are working on this energy. This took a turn here. Wow. I'm going to try and keep things light, but you can't sometimes, right? People are working hard on that energy of darkness. They're taking it lighter than it needs to be. And I was getting that from other readings I was giving as well. It's like people are taking things too lightly. Including me, right? Sometimes you have to, you have to fly over things a little bit because, getting in it, it's going to drag you down too far. And certain people have certain aspects in their chart that just suck them right in there. And I'm one of those people. I have some stuff in my chart, man, to bring me right down. And I've been there. I've done that. I've got my card, and I don't want to go back there. But that's, what they're telling me is that's a gift, because then I can go down there, see it, and then warn everybody of what's going on, because I have a higher tolerance for this dark stuff than most do. I didn't want that tolerance. I don't. They were saying to me, because I've come up and above and beyond it. And it wasn't a sane fight. It was completely insane. And I didn't have my wits about me. And there's a lot of physical things outside of me that came against that. That made me the weakest I could be. Outside forces made me the weakest I could be and put me down even further. And yet I come through. And they told me today, they said, the reason that you can go as far as you do is because you respect the dark for what they can do, but you also respect the light, and you choose to walk in the light. But there's something to be said for those people that walk that line and warn others. And this is that warning. And some people are going to be closer to that flame than others. And those that are going to feel that at this point, is the sense that I'm getting. And unfortunately, if you haven't turned your tide, meaning if you're of a dark nature, if you're of... it starts with selfishness, and I do talk about good selfishness and bad selfishness. If you don't know what that is, you're going to figure it out pretty soon, because if you're on the dark side of selfishness, you're going to feel that burn. And those needing inspiration to go to the light, they're going to get it. And you should run in that direction. Not walk, not toddle, like don't dawdle. They're showing me a kid, like the mom saying, come on, let's go, we're late, right? This is what I'm getting. We're late. But we'll get there nonetheless if our heart is clean and true. And if it's not, beware, because warriors are bound, okay? Now this is spiritual. We're on the spiritual side here. The conclusion has come where we will have an imbalance as we have in the past. That is, we're concluding that. There's no longer. We are going to have a balance here. And that which is forbidden will come to the light. This is, we're coming on the end of this year. And I said all the truths will come. And maybe they have. Maybe they have. But maybe there's certain people that don't want to believe it. And those are the ones who are going to get caught. They're going to get caught in tornado storms, just going to spin them right around. If you don't have a good grasp of goodness within your own heart, this is going to be a rough time for you. Into the next year will be the toughest time for you, because this will all be figured out on the 3D earth. And I'm getting into November, December, even though I'm going to be going here and having weekly reports till they tell me no. I go back to the reading. I'm going to have weekly reports, but the bottom line is this is the way it's going, right? There's a conclusion to this dark side trying to take over, because they're showing me from the dark side, 75% they think is in darkness. From the light side, it's complete opposite. 25% of you got the reins, and the warriors are starting to fight now. And because it's 75% against 25%, you do the math. Okay. Whew. Boy, this is heavy. Now, as we move into that warrior energy, and we end the reading here, fighting for that which is right, okay, and there will also be against those that are in darkness. And in the center of it all is the darkness. So the sense here is, even though they may be speaking of what perceived as light, there's darkness here, okay. The truth is coming out. it will come out. It has come out. We are learning truths as we go. We got to really listen to that. And it's hard when you have 3 lies and the 4th one's going to come out and you're like, I don't know, I've heard 3 lies. Am I ready for the truth? Is this the truth? You doubt, right? So this is the problem we're having now. And again, be in your, how would I say, in your mindset. We want you to be happy and joyous, but not to the degree that we diminish our life and be delusional, right? We don't want to be delusional. We want to be happy, but we also want to, there's things we got to fight for to be happy here. It's the sense that I get. And each individual person will have more strength or weakness in these areas. Having to do with their own plight, you know? Okay. The animal card here to shut this down, the overview, we get 23, the Raven. News. Don't you know? Again, that orange with the, it makes me think of Halloween now, being so close, right? And the moon, right? The moon said hello to me yesterday. I was very aware of the moon yesterday, and I just bowed to the moon and I said, thank you for shining your light on me, and may it shine upon others as well, because we really do need to see the truth. Like, all that is hidden in the darkness needs to be seen, right? And I did. I looked outside and I'm like, yeah, pretty bright out there. And I just went about my day. I was like getting my last drink before bed, right? I have this thing with the ice water. I go fill up my ice tray, my glass with water and ice. And then I looked out the window and I was like, yeah, that's a bright one. And I knew it was like a super moon harvest, whatever. And I just sat and lingered a little bit as I looked at it. And I was like, that's super bright. See, you're just super cool. Yeah, I respect you. And it just made me aware. It's like, here I am. And there's an energy shift. And again, I'm part water. I'm a lot of water. I'm more air than I am water, frankly. But I got a lot of water that to the surface of emotions, right? And I felt deeply, yes, this is a culmination. This moon shining as bright as it does is going to create things in its aftermath, right? Meaning the aftermath is the energy. The moon is there to do its thing, and then after it releases and goes into lighter forms, this is the cutoff. This is the conclusion. This is, right? The conclusion is, after this moon, things are going to run different. And not only that, the forbidden, they're gonna learn the rules here, whether they want to learn them or not, whether they want to put them aside and not deal. They're gonna learn them because they have no other choice. And the warriors are coming forth to fight for that truth, which is already here. And this is what is happening. Wow. So the news, right? The news. There will be more news. In the future, and the moon, right? Okay, so 3 and 2 is 5. Yeah, we're at a tipping point here where that which we have learnt, we don't want to be in delusion as we go forward. We've learnt this, we know this. Do not disregard as we go forward here, as we see them trying to put these illusions. Because I was looking, I'm like, yeah, that's the hermit. It's almost like he's walking around with his little lit lantern, but where's the light in there? There's no light in there. There's no light in there. And we all should be able to feel that. We should be able to feel that. So get real here in your universe. Don't let anybody swindle you with words. It's their actions and deeds of the past. They do not change. They will not change. So we need to understand from that, no matter how much they say they have, they will not be able to exhibit this in the future. So let's not give them a chance to try this kind of thing. Oh, I was talking to police, courts, judges. Let's pray for those guys, shall we? Because they got to make decisions, some of them that they have to die for. And that's serious, right? So I am praying for those people who stand up for truth and dignity and whatever they have to do for that in order to move forward. The news will be coming before, after the full moon, all of it. It's coming. Now, I'm going to leave that. That's your reading. Now I'm going to give you what I've been channeled and what I've been introduced to as of this morning when I decided to do the reading today. It was 7th. I'm like, oh yeah, I did one on the first 7th so that, keep on the 7s. And they started shooting me with energy, and I said, well, how do I explain what's going on energetically? I have a hard time explaining energetically what's going on anyway, never mind when it's in betwixt. So they said, let's treat it like a weather report. And I was like, oh yeah, it's partly cloudy. I knew right away. Oh yeah, it's partly cloudy, but the sun's beaming from the back of that cloud, and it's kind of dark and kind of light. And then I was like, yeah, partly cloudy. Then I went, had my shower. I got up, turned my computer on, and I gotta see if I can get that graphic, the exact one. If not, I'll get one that's very similar to it. But it had like a mountain scene, and it was partly cloudy, but the light at the end of the tunnel, right? The big orange flare was there, and there's sunflowers saying, the sun is out. It's kind of like that. It's like the darkness is still there, making its presence known. But not only is it being overshone by brightness, but the fact that the brightness is bigger than the darkness, and then the flowers are life itself. It was all there, and I just sat there and I was like, oh, would you look at that? I said, you guys, you're pulling it over on me. You're doing it again. Like these little synchronicities, right? These little signs that tell you, one, you're on the right path. Two, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get worse. It's going to get better. Even when you feel like it's not going to be in this way. Like I was feeling, because I feel everything, right? Some days they allow me to check out, and some days they don't. So even when I don't want to feel it, I have to feel it. One, because it's part of my path to shoot it out to everybody else, to make them aware of it. And then two, because it's just, that's what happens when you're in this mode. You feel things, and you're aware of things that other people aren't. And the partly cloudy, yeah. In my mind, it was more dark, but that's because it's like, how many of these valleys, these dark valleys, do we got to go through before we're in the free and clear and sunshine? And they're going not much farther. Not much farther. And you get like this one, it's just, even though we can't go to the sad and depths of depression, well, I can't anyway, that I used to. Because I used to be everything I saw, right? Because I was just in it, and I was dragged in it, and I was pulled down, and the energy was sucked from me, and I didn't know how to stand up against that, or how to rebel, or I didn't know none of it. And some of it was, I was given pills to kind of numb me out, and that's not the right way. By doctors, no less, right? But anyway, this partly cloudy stuff, that's what we're looking at. But it's the partly cloudy. It's like the sun is setting and the sun is beaming, but you're still aware that there's a darkness there. And again, we can't really get rid of the darkness completely. It's there for contrast and growth, but at the same time, we're aware that it's less than what the brightness is of life and should be at this time. And I feel like that's the cloud we're coming across here as we move into the fall and winter, the beginning parts of winter here where I'm in Canada. So it'd be like October, November, December, the darkest part, right? In that way. Now, if you're on the southern hemisphere, you'll be speeding up at this time, which will be a completely different feel, because you may feel like it's a little bit dark, but then you'll bounce twice as quick out of it, and you'll be twice as energized on the other end of it. Especially this moon stuff. If you're affected by moon cycles, this will affect you even higher in that way of bouncing. They're showing me little balls bounce like on the table, and then a ball that you bounce in your driveway that goes higher than the house, like that. That's the difference between winter and summer, because there's a slowdown coming in the northern hemisphere. So we are essentially going into darkness, right? Because there's more hours in the day that are dark. So essentially this creates, and this is the best time for those evildoers to put their stuff, but again, we get through that first part of it and we bounce back again. It's like the resistance is higher for darkness, meaning they could put darkness upon us, but it will not penetrate as deeply, it will not last as long, and it will not carry forth. Period. This is what they're telling me. Okay. I'm just reporting the news. And that's what they're telling me. And for me, I have noticed this trend in the last, 2 to 5 years. I've noticed this trend. And that's evolution. That's the evolution process that can't be stopped by nobody, no how. Don't matter what kind of room you're sitting in, with what kind of pictures, what kind of deities you're praying to. It's not going to change. And those ones that were doing that on the dark side, that's all. Again, there's a toilet flush that's happened. That's the news. And there's some of yous going down, and some of yous are on the top pressing the button. Okay? This is what I'm getting. So there's the warriors, right? They're flushing toilets and all of this stuff. And again, they have more power to do that, right? Those that are vulnerable, it's like putting a piece of Kleenex in the toilet and flushing her down and watching her go. This is what? No, okay. So anyway, the weather report is partly cloudy. I'm going to show, all this time, if I do get that picture, I'm going to see if I can steal it off. Because I have a thing that it just gives me a different wallpaper every day. And what do you know? The energies can get in there. But again, and you may find too that energies can get in and under you and surround you in darkness. But if you allow it, if you allow that energy in, if you allow it to absorb and say, yeah, the darkness is around me, you can just say, well, it's not. And I've done that myself because I've had, and sometimes your phone hears you, sometimes. And it spits out what you talk about. And there was the other day, I was talking about some stuff. It was very negative. And what do you know? It pops up on my feed and I'm just kind of glaring going, yeah, here we go. And then I flipped my attitude and literally the page refreshed. I didn't even have to click enter. It refreshed. And it was all different titled stuff. Stuff more oriented to the vibration I was at. And I was like, yeah. There's so much here we don't see. So much here we don't see. But anyway, I'm going to digress. There's news coming forth in the future here. We will be in a warrior spirit and we will be inspired to act in certain ways. That is, those who have their fire on the inside and their heart center in the right place, fighting for the right thing. Those ones will be supercharged at this time and they will go forth and they will create waves that will be unstoppable. They will be carrying other people away. So be careful how much in your daydreams you get here as the sense. There may be some being inspired in a daydream kind of way in order to take action in certain things that will help you accomplish. And just be aware of the darkness when it puts its foot in there. Just kick it out. Set your boundary and don't allow it. Because there are conclusions that have happened already. They will continue to happen. There's things that are forbidden that are happening that will be put to conclusions. And that's the news that we're going to hear in the future. And not that far. They're showing me December again. They did that again. So I don't know what's with December other than a lot of disclosure. A lot of stuff coming up in December. And that's the time when there's a pattern of peace that wants to prevail. And if you try and bring stuff in the December time, it just ain't going to float. And I feel like that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to disrupt our Our peace time, we're going to not notice it. Let's put it that way. So all that energy is going to be, again, lost, because people are going to be in their peace. They're going to be quite sturdy in that, and they're going to be quite sturdy in the fact that they're with family and uniting with people as they should at this time, right? And Thanksgiving over November, because this next month will be in the States, November will be high for family and uniting. So this uniting energy they were pushing, right? And I was thinking that, I was like, well, I got a whole week. And they're like, no. And then I was looking at the calendar. I'm like, no, I don't have. I only have like 2 days. I had to get everything ready, blah, blah. So it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, now I know what they're talking about. It's like this uniting energy. Ooh, I could feel it. And then it was like, oh, it's creeping up on me. Like, it's on my next door, you know? So here it is, right? Thanksgiving. And that's a holiday you can use to unite with people and da-da-da. So I think over this, whatever it is you celebrate, wherever it is that you are. And if you don't celebrate, just take a weekend and invite family over and be appreciative of them. Appreciate them. If it's not family, then friends, whatever you can get. And make a point of embellishing that energy. Rather than paying attention to all that divides, pay attention to all that unites. Again, they're saying that. So the Raven is the card here talking about news. There will be more news in the future. Feel Halloween. There's a lot of stuff over this October. I do feel that black cloud of energy, but it will clear away quickly, dissipate quickly is what they said. And it will lift to bring a new day. And it's funny because there's things, there's things that I get. You know, you get gifts of insight, you get gifts of foretelling and all this stuff. You get gifts if you do something right. And as you move along, you know, those gifts, they can bring tears of joy. They can bring tears of overwhelming, which is usually what I get lately. It's just the... I can't tell you what's to come because I know that you just won't know until it gets here. But I do know that it's overwhelming in a good way. The things, man, can you just get me through a reading without crying? It's like, frick. I get waves of it and then they take it away because it's overwhelming. It's too much. And I'm starting to get used to it. And I'm glad I'm able to get used to it because before I was just fighting it tooth and nail. And I got to get used to it because not only is it part of my path, but it's going to be part of your path as well as you go forward. All of these essence waves, as I call them, is awareness of things that just weren't aware before. You had no clue. You didn't understand. You don't. You become aware of, and it is overwhelming, and it brings depths to you that I can't express. I can't until you know someone's gone through it. You can't even begin to express it. But I do wish that upon you, because that is where we need to be in order to be that warrior of peace. We have to be able to feel it at its deepest core. Feel it at the deepest core. You know, and if we're numbing our feelings and all that stuff, that's the bottom line, man. You're just on the wrong side of the tracks. If you have to numb your heart, you have to close your heart, you're on the wrong side of the tracks. And as much as you don't want to admit that, that's the truth. So the quicker you get on the chain gang here of feeling all those emotions you don't want to feel. I don't want to sit here and cry while I'm doing a reading, but because I do allow for these moments to release that steam valve again of pain and sorrow that I've been through. It opens up fields to you. I'm telling you, I can't even express. So for this week of October 7th, 2025, take care out there. It's partly cloudy. but the sun is shining real bright in the foreground, and it's gonna break through. So take care, have fun, and be kind. Happy Thanksgiving to those who are in Canada. Happy Thanksgiving to those who are in America. Take care, have fun, and be kind, and we will talk to you very soon.